just a few seconds to get in, and we'll go back to where we were at before. We'll see if anybody comes back in. Nobody's in yet anyway. Okay, so search. All right, I think we're back. I think we're back. All right, so I think we're back. Cynthia, can you hear me okay? We'll give it that test real quick. You can be my test and see if everything goes okay with that. Can you hear me okay? So I don't want to touch it now. Let's see if we're moving around. Okay, you can hear me just fine. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here's what we got to do. Today we are going to do chili. I lost a bet. I had no intention of going live at all. But I lost a bet, and I have to give up my chili recipe live on Cast Iron Wednesday on YouTube. I guess I was going to get my car detailed, but this is what I got to do instead. So let me move the camera back just a little bit, and then I'm going to get in here. Like I said, I'm going to make chili. This is my simple chili recipe. I've been making this thing for years. We're going to go ahead and get started on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to get the burger on. We're going to move the camera over this way just a little bit. I'm going to start getting this burger set in, and we'll go from there. Oops. Sorry. Never done this before. First time. First day. It's my first day on the job. So you have to give me a second. All right. So we're gonna get the cast iron heated up, and what we're gonna use is our Lodge enamel Dutch oven. We're gonna start out with a little bit of olive oil and get that in there, and we're gonna let that heat up. Then after we do that, we'll start cooking the vegetables. Okay. Let me get the old gloves on, and we'll get started. Thanks to everybody. Looks like there's 2 or 3 people in here. It took me a little while to figure out how to go live today, so well, we're here. And once I get my gloves on, we can go ahead and get started. We'll start off with the first part of this recipe. We're going to go with 2 pounds of ground beef from my local butcher's, and we are using 90-10 because I do not like greasy burger. Get these opened up here, and then we'll get those put in here once the pan starts heating up. What else we got in here besides Cynthia? Anybody else? I see there's 2 or 3 people in here, but I don't see anybody else chiming in and saying that they're here. Maybe Fuzzfork will show up. Fuzzfork shows up to quite a bit of stuff. Alright, so we'll bring the burger over here, and we'll get that in there. My stove heats up almost immediately, so this should get going pretty fast. And there, I got the burger in. Got the burger going. That's in there. Okay, there's nothing, I don't know why my friend wanted me to give up my chili recipe, but he did. And they seem to like it pretty well. So that's what we're going to do. There we go. That started up there. Get that going. All right. So while we're waiting on that to, hey, Smoking Bears, what's going on, buddy? How are you? I figured it out. We got it figured out, so we're just gonna. It had me do this thing with the auto rotation. That's what was holding me up. All right. So while we're waiting for the burger to start browning up, I'm going to go ahead and start adding in the usual stuff that I put into this thing. I don't add any spices until the burger's starting to brown, and then once it starts to brown, then I'll put everything in there, and then we'll get all going in this. So start with my last green pepper of the year that came out of the garden, and didn't want that to go to waste. But yeah, this was a good year for peppers. The peppers came in great. It was so dry up here in this part of the country that the peppers were phenomenal. My hot peppers were, I mean, they were just banging. And when I add my hot peppers in, these are all out of the garden. And when I put them in here, you'll think that I'm kind of like slacking on the peppers, but it was so dry this summer that the peppers were just incredibly hot. Even the little red peppers, the Tabasco peppers, my cayenne peppers, all that stuff, they were just, I mean, just absolutely smoking hot. Because drier temperatures give you hotter peppers. That's kind of just the way that works. Forgive my knife skills. As Cast Iron Chaos says, I am not a professional chef. I'm a home cook. So there we go. There's that. Goes up. And we will have to wait on the burger to brown up before I add any of the vegetables. Anybody else jumping in yet? Check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. And Dave, I can't believe I did text you and let you know that I was live. And if you're not in here after making me do this, you and I are going to have some serious, serious issues. I can tell you that. But yeah, I was really surprised how well the peppers came out. And at one point, my peppers actually died off. For the first 2 months of the season, I only got like 2 peppers, and they were pretty small. And then we hit that dry patch around July, and they really, really took off. Really took off. I was actually pretty impressed with how many I got. I think I ended up with, out of 2 green pepper plants, I think I ended up with 35 peppers altogether. So we had tons of peppers. Tons and tons and tons. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Cynthia. I got an uncle out in Colorado Springs who's a woodworker. He actually is a wood turner where they make bowls. They make ridiculously small bowls out of huge blocks of wood, and they make these little bowls out of them, and they sell them for insane amounts of money. And he made that for me about 6 or 7 years ago, and I've had it ever since. This is the one that when I'm in live chats and I say, hey, how do I get the stink out of my cutting board? This is the board I'm talking about. Like I said, I've had this thing forever and ever. And I just absolutely love it. I don't know if it's in the shot or not. Oh, I'm in front of the picture. But there's my knife block right behind there is also part of the is part of everything. Get this out of there. Boy, I'm right in front of that picture. I should move this bowl over. Put this bowl right here. But yeah. So we'll put these in here. Put that in there. You can get a better look at the board. And I love this board. It's I forget what it is. It's walnut and something else, and I can't remember what the other. It's a black walnut and something else. I forget. I should ask him. But yeah, he does a lot of these on. He sells them on eBay, and he's been doing it for a long time. He's been doing it for as long as I can remember. You can look him up. He actually sold some stuff to a friend of mine that was decorating her house down in Florida a few years ago. He does a lot of work. I should get on the other side of this board. Yeah, it is an heirloom. That's what I've said. That's one of the reasons I do this. This is actually the big reason that I do my YouTube channel. It's not really so much for views or to make money or anything, but I thought it'd be a really good way to document the stuff that I like, my cast iron collection, so my kids knew what it was. And you know, because you can write this stuff down, you can catalog things, but stuff happens to paper and, you know, things get lost. But I thought if I just, you know, documented like what pieces I have and when they were made and all this kind of stuff, when you know, someday at some time that info might help them out a lot. It might just help them out quite a bit to figure out what it is, because I don't want to. Some of my pieces are pretty nice, and I don't want to see everything end up in a garage sale for $5 when they could have got a lot more out of it. Get rid of that crappy little piece there. I need to get something to drink. I kind of went live and I didn't think about getting myself set up with anything, any kind of goodies to snack on or drink on while I was doing it. I was kind of just happy that I figured out how to get it going and turn the camera to the side without it being straight up and down. It doesn't show me on my screen. I've kind of got this set up in a really, I kind of jerry-rigged this thing together so I could see the screen, so I could see the comments. Let me see. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Let's see here. Get this stuff cut. At some point I'm gonna have to step away from the camera and give this stuff a little spin in here. Gotta stir this stuff up there in the pot. So let me just go grab my heating pad here and change a glove and get that going. Let's see. Let me grab my oven mitt. Let's see here. Grab the oven mitt. We'll start breaking this hamburger up. Start getting this stuff going here. Start breaking up the burger. I don't really have a good angle of the burger, unfortunately, but I don't know if you can see any of that or not. But we'll throw some of this, we'll start throwing the spices in here. I guess that was still kind of held together. I picked up my meat. I get my meat from the local butcher here in town, and he just expanded his whole facility. And now it's almost like a supermarket where you can go in and get their stuff. But The only downside to the whole thing is that everything is frozen. There's no fresh meat in there. None. So we'll get this broken up and we'll throw some spices in there. And what I have for spices is I have, let me grab my list. That's great you're here, Greg Hart, because this is my first time here too. So we're going to do this together. So what I've got in here, let me put this in front of the camera. I've got I start off light on the peppers. I've got 2 dried dehydrated cayenne peppers, a Tabasco pepper. I've got 2 teaspoons of chili powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder. No salt. There's no salt in this so far because I'm going to add the juice and everything to this. So there's going to be a lot of salt in there anyway, especially when I add into the beans as well. We're going to get a ton of salt. So, and then what else do we put in there? Oh, and black pepper. I put in 2 teaspoons of black pepper in here as well, and we'll just go ahead and toss that in there and get that stuff going around in there. There we go. Well, I appreciate that, Greg Hart. I'm a little behind on the comments, so I hope that I'm keeping up okay. Like I said, I lost a bet, and I've never had any intention of making my channel a cooking channel at all. Like, that's never been my thing. But so maybe it's the start of something fun. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And if you folks notice, the people that are in here, if you guys notice, I do have beans. I am going to put beans in my chili. I'm not sure how people feel about beans in their chili, but I put beans in mine. So for you Texas folks, I do have, we're going to keep it sort of Texas here. Let me step off camera here and let me grab something real quick. I'll be right back. All right. Yeah, Greg, I 100% agree. I'm not sure why people in Texas don't do beans and chili. I've never been able to figure that one out. But what I do have is I have this. So I hope this makes it kind of Texas. I do understand having, oh shoot, this is a pop top. Anyway, so I do understand that it's Texans don't put beans in their chili for whatever reason. They just put beans in everything else. And if anybody leaves comments and saying that, I have 41 first cousins in southern Texas, so I'm pretty aware that they don't put beans in their chili. That's what we needed. We needed a little bit of that. That's not my secret ingredient, by the way, but I don't think it can help. I really don't have a secret ingredient for this. It's just chili. Just make chili. That's all there is to it. It's nothing fancy, that's for sure. All right, so we'll go back and move this out of the way. We're in a pretty tight spot. I actually gave myself a lot tighter of a spot than I thought I was going to. And the other thing that I didn't have, that I thought I had, was I thought I had a big can of V8 juice, because that is the ingredient that I use that a lot of people probably don't use in chili. And a lot of people use tomato juice, or they use straight beans or whatever. I simply just use V8 juice. I try to keep everything that I'm doing sort of, how do you want to say it? I try to keep everything pretty nutritious that I eat. Even though sometimes it's crap that I eat, I try to eat nutritious crap if I can. So then I usually add, I don't use the whole thing of garlic powder or garlic. I just kind of cut up a few and I just add them as I go. Maybe I should get on the other side of this. I seem to, when I look over there, all I can see is flannel, which I dig flannel, but it's not everybody's thing, I guess. See if I can come around here to the side. Maybe that's a little bit better. Maybe knock the camera over. That'd be pretty cool. That's pretty rad. Let's see here. Let's give it a, let's see if we can't do some tilting here a little bit. Kind of moved it. There we go. That's a little better. There we go. That's a little bit better. There you go. Exactly. Give me a double. I wish I had a double to go with this, but I just have beer today. Try to stay out of the sauce when I'm doing live TV. But I have no problem putting a few of these down. There, that gets me out of the picture a little bit more. Let me see. I need one more of these because I usually go four cloves of garlic. These right here. And hope my dog doesn't start yipping. I had to put her out in the garage. But she got a pork femur bone that I got from the butcher today. So hopefully she's happy with that. If she's not, she should be. So my dog's pretty small. And that femur bone, pork femur bones, I mean, pigs don't have really big legs, but they're pretty stout. They're a stout little critter. So we got one that we got, there, just throw, and I throw them in whole. I figure the powder is pretty much granulated, so what makes the difference, right? A lot of people smash these, which I probably should, but I'm not. There we go. That over there. That one in there. And I won't add the vegetables until I have the until I've got the meat fairly browned. I am going to drain that out. I don't know why I put that right in there. I actually need to put that over into the other thing. I don't know why I did that. So I'm kind of discombobulated. Like I said, I've never done one of these lives. I guess we should be waiting for the smoke detector to go off here at any second. But we can, I guess we can do this all in there. I was going to throw it into the, I've got a BSR chicken fryer over here I was going to brown the meat into. But I can kind of forgo that for now. It doesn't make any difference. I was going to show the that BSR Red Mountain off a little bit. I'll tell you what, I've never been a big fan of BSR. And the reason being is that I find it to be a little bit on the boring side. It doesn't have the cool markings as like a Wagner or Griswold or a Favorite or whatever. So I kind of just overlooked it all these years. But I picked up, about a year and a half ago, I picked up this chicken fryer and brought it home. I cleaned it up and it sort of sat around. I never really used it. I actually was going to sell it. And I just love this thing. There's no way I'd get rid of it at this point. Oh, thanks, Greg. I appreciate it. I'm really glad you're here. Like I said, I sort of lost this bet. And my buddy was like, because I've always tried to get people to watch the smaller channels on Wednesday, the cast iron channels on Wednesday. And he was like, well, once you do this on your cast iron Wednesday that you're always talking about, and all that, which I can't believe he's not here. I texted him and said he was here, or said I was on. And oh yeah, and we're gonna throw on this little bit of hot pepper here. This is just a Tabasco pepper that I grew in my garden this year. And I tell you what, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not sure if anybody caught that or not, but that's one of the reasons I got the gloves on. These peppers, this and my cayenne peppers this year, are so insanely hot that they are just they're impossible to work with. I wish they were still growing just up until about a week ago when we actually got a little bit of frost here, but they were going pretty strong. I probably ended up with about 150. I would say, I know I have way over, I lost count at 100. So I had about 150 of these little Tabasco peppers, but I made salsa out of them like when they first came out, when I got about, I don't know, a dozen of them. And I threw those in there in that salsa, and I'm telling you what, we had to dump it because nobody could eat it because it was so hot that nobody even wanted to deal with the heat of that thing. As I glug in everybody's ear. Oh well. That's the worst thing that happens today. It'll be a good day. Let's check on the burger and see how it's coming along. Let's see how this burger's coming. And like I said, man, you get into those hot peppers and you mess around and get that stuff in your eyes, and you are burnt toast, man. And that is no joke. It's going to be I wish I would have thought to put it in that fryer instead. Because number one, that fryer is really nice. I like that. I just love that thing. But I'll just get a bowl. I'll dish this out and then I'll dump the grease. I got another bowl over there. I can throw but I threw these. I got a couple of those cayenne. The cayenne peppers just came out. I should have put those up on the community page because these cayennes came out so good. It was like, and I only had one plant of the cayennes this year, and they came out so well. It was like I had a bonsai tree, like a catalpa wood bonsai tree. They were just, they were just everywhere. And I'd pick them, and it started out, I got like 2 or 3, 4, whatever, and I pulled them off. And the next thing I knew, I was pulling off, like every couple days, I was probably pulling off 20 cayenne peppers. I have so many cayenne peppers that I dehydrated this year. I think I ended up with probably, I'd have to say a good 5 of the big wide mouth jars. I ended up with 5 of those full of cayenne and Tabasco peppers that were dehydrated down. I just had so many. That's not even counting what I used every day. Or we went through a lot of peppers this summer, and I'll be going through peppers for a while. Burger's getting pretty brown. Peppers are getting pretty brown. Or I'm sorry, the beef's getting pretty brown. And I won't, when I do my chili, I don't need it to cook all the way through before I start adding everything to it. But I do kind of spice it in the middle once it starts to absorb. And then once it absorbs up, and then I put the vegetables in. I'm kind of weird about putting the vegetables in when the meat's still completely raw. I like to get it up to some kind of temperature. But it's starting to look pretty good. I don't know if I could get a shot of how much burger I got in here. But like I said, I got 2 pounds so far. I've got in 2 pounds of burger. I've got in 2 teaspoons of chili powder, a teaspoon and a half of garlic powder, and 2 teaspoons of black pepper. I do, like I said, there's no salt in here so far. There's no reason to put salt into this because everything, the beans, the V8 juice that I'm going to put in, it all has so much sodium that it's going to be salty. And even if you can't tell it, if you want to add, I always tell people when they come to my house, you want to add salt, you can put salt in it as much as you want. And the other thing, I just, I don't know why I watch salt the way I do. I don't enjoy salt much. My dad was a big salt guy, and that just made me kind of, I don't know, not really hate salt, but it was just he put salt on everything. mean, it's a wonder he didn't put salt in his breakfast cereal. I mean, it didn't matter what it was. He just salted everything. I think I kind of got an aversion to putting so much salt on everything all the time. Ooh, I'm getting parched. All right, so I'll bring this over and let you guys take a look at it. Where I am with the, oh, the spatula? Sure. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if, can you see that okay? There you go. Yeah, it's just a little spatula I picked up. I go to this place down in Cincinnati fairly regular, about once every month or two. I head down to this place. It's called Jungle Gyms. And if you're ever in the Ohio area, or Kentucky, northern Kentucky, southern Ohio area, Jungle Gyms is a really cool spot. It's one of those places where you go and it just has everything. I mean, anything and everything that you could possibly think of, it has it. It has a Le Creuset section. It has a smithy cast iron section. It just has everything. It really does. So this is where I get the burger. This is about where I have the burger. And then I'm going to start adding everything to it. And this is going to be real quick. It's not going to take long at all. And it's real simple, real easy. But I'm going to get a bowl here and then we're going to drain this out here pretty quick. Because this is the point where I don't want to take all the grease out of it. I don't want to take all the oil out, but I want to take most of it out. There we go. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, so I try to keep the kitchen pretty fun. Let me grab a bowl here and start draining out some of the grease. Get some of the burger out, get the burger out of here. Let's see. Let me grab this. Let me grab a bowl for the burger. We'll get our little strainer out. These are 1950s bowl. Love this bowl. I've had this thing forever. I think I got it at a Goodwill way back when I was stocking my kitchen when I was a lot younger man. And I've had it ever since. And it's just been, there's actually, you can get there's another one that's the same. It's green. It's like that 50s lime green. And they both have lids to them, but I've never found the lids. Isn't that the way it goes? You're always looking for the lids. So we got a burger off to the side. We'll get that out of the way. And get the grease out. I'll just dump that over here. I got a little bowl that we'll throw that into. Yeah, there we go. All right. So we'll set this bowl off to the side. Get a little something. We'll sit. Turn that down. The old oven mitts on. And I'll dump this grease out real quick. And this didn't really make a lot of grease. Like I said, I use 90-10, so I don't have as much grease. And it has more of a, I don't know, it doesn't have as much of a steak flavor, but it's still pretty good. There we go. See where that sits. Need a rag, a paper towel. What is it you remember, Cynthia? I'm sorry, these don't, for some reason, my comments aren't sticking around for me. They're just showing up and then they go. Yeah, it is pretty pricey. But okay, so turn that back on. I don't know why I turned it off. I'm not cooking like my normal self today. So we'll throw this. I've got one whole onion. I've got a whole pepper, a little bit of that little bit of Tabasco pepper, and that's going to be it. There we go. Throw that in there. We'll let that kind of saute. I could do this on the front burner. Is that going to be? Is that a little better? No, this does. I don't know. Doesn't make any difference. You can't see it either way. The camera angle is the one thing that I did have trouble with. We'll jump a little more. So next we're going to put. I'll move this out of the way. And we are going to just let that cook around a little bit. And we'll go ahead and open up our beans. Working in such a tight spot. Usually I'm like kind of across the board here. I kind of work over on the other side of the kitchen as well. Now I don't drain the beans out. I just throw them in. I generally use, like I'm doing today, I kind of go some red kidney beans and some black beans, just to kind of give it a little color. Plus, I like black beans. They're pretty. I think they're kind of tasty. They're a little tastier than a lot of the other beans. A little more to them. Plus, they mush up. They're kind of mushier. They kind of give it more of a. They kind of thicken up your. They thicken up your stuff. They thicken up your chili a little bit better than a lot of the other, like say just a regular kidney bean. But what we're going to do now is, okay, so we had all those spices in there for the start. Oh, that's looking really pretty. That is looking really pretty. I hope you can see, get a good angle of that. That is looking nice. But yeah, like I said, the black beans for me are kind of one of my favorites because they kind of break down a little quicker than say your traditional beans do. So it kind of adds that means that you can kind of get away from adding flour or any kind of thickening agent, any kind of cornstarch to your chili. This thickens it up really quick. Now, one of the things with my chili is it's good right away, but it's better later on after it simmers a few hours. So I don't think I'll probably just throw up on the community page. I'll show a picture of the end result. But anyway, I like my chili, man. I even actually let it. Generally, what I do is I make this a day ahead, and then I do it for the next day. Let it kind of get down to room temperature, put it in the oven, or put it in the refrigerator, and let it sit. Sitting there overnight, and then kind of slowly heat it back up. If I don't have a chance to just let it sit and go. But here's the other thing I do when I'm doing my stuff. Okay, I'm going to throw a couple shots of once I've cooked the burger and the burger's off to the side, I reapply everything that I had to begin with. So and I'm going to add a couple shots of Tabasco sauce in there just to get things straightened out, get things right. Get everything right here. Okay, so we're going to go with our chili powder again. We're going to do another 2 teaspoons of that. A couple more teaspoons of that. And the thing with chili powder is, you don't want to go too crazy with chili powder because it kind of will start to get a little funky. Makes things a little funky, in my opinion. And then I'm going to take a little bit of ground white pepper and throw that in there. about a teaspoon of that. We've already got 2 teaspoons in the into the other thing. And then let me grab my ground ground garlic powder. Sorry. And then we'll do then another teaspoon or so of garlic powder. And man, we were hitting it pretty good here. Definitely making good time. I don't know how long this has been on. I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell how long it's been on. All right. So this is starting to look pretty decent here. Let me bring this up and I'll go through the delay, and maybe I can get the camera over here a little bit better. Okay, got it. Cause I got a little delay that I'm working with here. So let me see here if we can't get a good picture of this. I don't want to drag you too far around. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too terrible. All right, and then we're going to add back in our hamburger. Add the hamburger back in. And I'm going to go ahead and heat the front of this. I'm going to go ahead and start working up here. That'll be fine. Get a nice shot of that. Okay, and like I said before, I thought I had I drink a lot of V8 juice, and I generally have a lot of the bigger cans, the 46-ounce cans laying around, but I did not today. But what I'm going to do is the equivalent of that. I'm going to do the equivalent of that. Yeah, that's what you need, man. You need a lot of burger. When you don't put a lot of burger in your stuff, it just kind of defeats the purpose, if you ask me. I kind of go to the old school of chunky soup. Chunky soup. I go to chunky soup school. You know, eat this stuff eat it with a fork. So we'll start adding in. I'm gonna start adding in the tomato soup or tomato juice, the V8 juice. And like I said, I didn't have the 46-ounce container, but I had cans, and the equivalent is 4 cans instead of one of the 46-ounce containers, because these aren't quite 12 ounces. I think they're 11 and a half. Glug glug. That's how I'm going to be doing it. Glug glug. But these are 11 and a half ounce cans, so you can just use 4 cans of the small cans. You can just use 4, and that'll equal out to be your big one. That'll equal out to be the big one. Oh yeah, the Dutch oven. That is 100% a Lodge. That's just your regular basic big box store Lodge. Yeah, I have a couple pieces of Le Creuset, but I don't use them. One's from the Harry Potter collection. That's my daughter's. I got her that she keeps. That she still hasn't used. I got it for her for Christmas a couple years ago. And then we have some pie birds that are Le Creuset, and a tea kettle. But overall, I have to use the Lodge stuff. I have to use the Lodge Basic because, I mean, I cook with my stuff, and blowing $350 on a enameled Dutch oven is just not. That's just not in my cards. Because, I mean, I use my stuff every single day. And I did shake these up. So. A little bit at a time. we go. See, that's looking pretty soupy. Let's see, let me catch up on the comments here. Yeah, exactly, Greg Hart. I can. And the reason that I use V8 instead of regular tomato juice, number one, it's so good for you. There's the 8 vegetables that are in there. So it's crazy nutritious for you. But the other thing is it adds all those vegetables in there without adding the vegetables to it and not making it overwhelming, not turning it into like a vegetable soup. Like if you use like a whole stalk of celery, you wouldn't need to do that. You don't need to cut up all that stuff. But you get all the stuff in there, the beets, the carrots, you get all those flavors in there, but you don't have to you don't have to actually add them in there and change the flavor so much. But it's kind of like you're adding all these things in there. What's the other thing that's in there? Watercress. You get watercress in the V8 juice. Watercress is pretty hard to come by. So, I mean, you get just an abundance of flavor from that. And like I said, the nutritional value of a V8 over just regular V8 tomato juice is insane. I mean, it's just literally night and day. And I try to, like I said, I try to, as much as I possibly can, to eat as healthy as I can or get as much nutritional value out of what I eat. It's really hard. People would be surprised how hard it is to actually get nutrition out of the food today. It's not in the soil. The soil is so overfarmed that you have to try to you almost have to try to get some nutrition out of your food anymore. If you read the back of stuff, I mean, it's hard to believe. Like if you read the back of say like a can of soup or something, there's like no nutritional value in a can of soup. It's like there's nothing in it. No matter what it may have some protein, it may have a little bit of this, but there's like nothing in your food anymore. All right, well, I'm gonna put this dead soldier out of the way. Great while it lasted. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, we're kind of getting this stuff, but that's the overall look, man. That's what you want, and it seems kind of watery, but once this sits and it simmers down for a few hours, I mean, it's gonna be pretty robust. And the other way you can do it too, you can if you want to speed the process up, you can kind of saute the vegetables a little bit in with the burger and drain it all off at once. It tends to make to me, it makes the vegetables kind of greasy, but I don't know. This does. Let me see. To me, it does. I can taste the difference in it. Let's see here. Oh man, I found another one of these beers. But let's turn that. Hey, I will show you this. I will show you my Dutch oven ones, or the one I was going to use, this BSR that I have over there. Let's see if I can turn that and get a halfway decent shot of it if it comes into play. I absolutely love this thing. This thing is just, like I said before, I've never been a BSR guy. I've always been kind of a Pickwa favorite, Wapak kind of guy. And just by where I live, I've done I have a lot of Wagnerware as well. But yeah, this thing is just amazing. I was really surprised at how well this thing works, and it's just smooth as glass. And I was gonna sell it, but you can tell it's one of the older ones because of there's just nothing on the back. It just has the 8 and the mold number, and that's it. And there's nothing on that bad boy. That's just that's straight from the 1930s there. And it has the really cool lid. I've always dug this lid. It has the size and then the mold number and then that extra B. I don't know what the extra B is all about, but Yeah, I just think this is the coolest one. I think it's so cool. I wish I'd have done the burger in it like I planned to initially, but I kind of got sidetracked just finding out that I was actually live. So we'll go back to this. Back to this. There we go. But yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna sit. I'm gonna throw the temperature. I'm gonna leave it right about at 4. I got it on the 4 position. Up there, like right up there. On the 4 position. And I usually I don't go much higher than that generally. Add a little more pepper to the whole thing. And that's going to be it. I'm going to let this sit for about an hour. And I'm going to sit back tonight. What time are we getting here? Here it's 5:25. So I'm going to let this kind of simmer down. And then I'm going to double check and make sure there wasn't anything that else I was going to put in it. But I think it came out pretty good. And the thing that this is too, I mean, that's quick. I mean, I don't know how long I've been on here, but it wasn't very long. It definitely wasn't long at all. And we're all finished. So there we go. There's my chili recipe, Dave. That's what I do. That's how I make it. And you can do the same thing yourself. I think I am going to add a little more green pepper to it, though. If you guys don't mind sticking around, I'm just going to keep it going, and I'm just going to I'm going to add a little more green pepper. I think I got a little bit in the fridge I'm going to throw in. But that's the tricky thing when you start working with garlic and tomato. It seems like you can really go over the edge, and if you add too much of, like, say, a green pepper or something like that on there, or too much garlic and like a tomato based thing, that you can actually turn it into almost like an Italian meal. And I'm not wanting to do that. So I'm not wanting to turn this into an Italian tasting dish, because it's definitely not. We'll slice that up real fast. Let's take that down real quick. Oh, my dog's starting. I don't know if you can hear my dog whining. She's not used to being penned up, but oh yep, she's yapping out there. Oh well, she'll be all right. She's only been in there since I started about 10 minutes before I started doing this. She just gets she's one of those little attention dogs, but she's pretty active. She's a rat terrier, and so she gets she's jumpy. She likes to jump up, and she's real active, and she can start knocking over cameras and things like that. I'll break that up here in a second. I missed that one, but yeah, that was what I was talking about, Cynthia. That pup she's starting to get a little restless out there. She hears me in here talking, and there's nobody else here but but her and I right now. Everybody else is they're somewhere else. My daughters are in class, or they're not here today, so it's just us. And oh God, I saw that sticker. And so it's just us here today, and she's probably wondering who the heck I'm talking to, because usually it's the radio's on or whatever, but other than that, it's usually fairly quiet around here, except for the loud music and not too much loud music, but usually there's music on, or some kind of radio or whatever's going. But yeah, I think it came out pretty well. Still pretty chunky. Meat's still chunky. There's a lot in there. There's a lot of, I don't know. Chili's a soup for sure, but I definitely want it to eat like a standalone thing. I've got a little homemade bread that I made last night. I'll probably throw some peanut butter on the bread and have some peanut butter sandwiches and peanut butter on bread and dunk that in here. That's going to be good. It's going to be pretty darn good when it's done. Like I said, it'll be going for a while. It'll be another hour or so before it's actually finished. So anyway, that's pretty much all I got for tonight. Thanks Cynthia, and thanks to Greg Hart, man, for coming in. I think you're both already subscribed to the channel, so I definitely appreciate that. That's for sure. And maybe we'll do this. We'll do this again. Maybe next Wednesday we'll do this again, and whatever. So, and we'll try this out. Maybe this will be a thing. I try not to get. I thought about going live before, but it seems like somebody has something about just about every night. Luis and has Thursdays, and Cast Iron Chaos. He has Wednesdays, obviously, and then there's another Smoking Bears. I tend to watch them at 6 o'clock, do their keto show, as well as their Sunday morning show. Smoking Bears is pretty entertaining. It's pretty wholesome family cast iron you can watch. And then of course on Tuesdays, we're always with Mudbrooker, and that's always a great show. I like watching that. That's kind of like sitting in somebody's living room and just kind of talking about cast iron. Oh yeah, grilled cheese. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's what we always had at school. We always had grilled cheese and that or peanut butter folded sandwiches. I kind of grew up on that. My mom did peanut butter sandwiches too. So yeah, that's a great idea. Oh yeah, yeah. I think they would hop on if I was. And like I said, I honestly have no idea what time I started this. I had to look at the clock. I had to move everything back just to see what I did. And so yeah, all you guys in Texas, I guess you don't know what you're missing out by putting beans in your chili. And I think it's pretty decent. Let's give it another stir around. I kind of got the heat turned up a little bit to give this a cook. We'll give it another stir around real fast. But yeah, I think that turns out pretty good. And if you get a chance, yeah, definitely. The V8 route is really a way to go. I think I've got another recipe for chili that's honestly my favorite recipe for chili. It was Graham's recipe for chili, and we call it Graham's brown chili, and it is super super easy. The most easy chili recipe that you could ever find in the world, and it was so good. And by the time it was done, you could do anything. I mean, you could eat it straight out of the. You could have a bowl of it. You could put it on chili dogs. You could put it on like chili spaghetti, almost like a Cincinnati style. It was so thick and it was just the best stuff. And recently, I found my recipe that I had written down when I was lucky enough to get from one of my aunts that she was kind enough to pass that on to me, and I've got that recipe, and I recently found the book that I had him in. So that might be, maybe next week we'll do another chili, because I never get tired of chili. It's like chili and fried chicken. I just never get tired of either one. Those are the things I never get tired of. Chili, fried chicken, pizza. I never get tired of either one. All right. So anyway, I'm going to go let my dog out. I'll see you guys in the comment section here in a few hours. I hope you liked it. Smash the like button. Give it a share. And maybe we'll try it again. Maybe we'll try to do this again next week. Oh yeah. Yeah, these are great. I have a white one. I'll bring that one over real quick. I got the white one too. I have the 7 in the 7. I got the 7 quart in the red. But yeah, I've got the white one. I've got the white one as well. Let's see if I can fit it in here. There we go. Yeah, I got the white one as well. I really like these. And I tell people all the time, when people ask me, they're like, what do you recommend to get first? With your when you're buying cast iron, you're getting started in cast iron. What do you recommend getting? And I always tell people, I'm like, man, get a 9-inch, get a flat griddle, a round griddle, and get one of these Dutch ovens and a number 6, and go from there. That's what you need to start out with. So many people will say the 8 or a 10 or whatever, and those are great to have. Those are definitely great to start out with. An 8 is definitely great to start out with. But if you get yourself a nice enamel Dutch oven, you don't have to fight with the cast iron lid. You don't have to deal with all the trying to keep it from rusting, everything else. You get a 6 so you can bake, make pies, make cakes. You can fry it. You can do a steak in it. You can do smaller things, and then you got your round griddle, like a 9-inch round griddle. I think they're 9 inches. Yeah, 9-inch round griddle. So you can do stuff like grilled cheese, eggs, sausage patties, and those kind of things. But that's what I tell people today. Get a Dutch oven, and I do have in here. I have my bread that I made last night, so I would have for today for chili, and it came out really well. I just make farm loaf, regular white bread, and I had some for breakfast this morning. I had that with my eggs. But yeah, that definitely. Oh, you can't even see it. Yeah, but I made farm loaf bread last night. I was making bread at like 10 or 11 o'clock last night. So that came out pretty good. Came out pretty dense. I like that. But yeah, that's so I could do peanut butter today with my chili. So yeah, I mean, I use cast iron every meal. I use cast iron. I use it all day long. So I guess why not come on here and cook a little bit more with it. Move this out of the way. But yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna put this to the back burner. Put this back on here so it's away from the edge. Ooh, that's heavy. Well, that got heavy. All right. Well, I'm going to get off here. It was good to see everybody. Thanks for Cynthia and Greg and Smoking Bears for showing up for this little thing. Dave, you talked me into doing this, and you bet me that I had to do it for our bet, and you never showed up. So I guess I'll be talking to you about that here pretty soon. All right. Well, anyway, I'll see you guys here in a little bit. See you in the comments sections. See ya.